there's been like 5,000 NBA players. Gilbert's in the top half. I don't think anyone would argue he was at the very least number 2,500 of the 5,000 at the very least.
Wait a minute. What? Who the fuck do you think you are with this nonsense? 5,000. There's 5,000 players that ever played, and you are gonna put me. Do you? I see my name in the title today, right? It was from Michael Jordan's fans. Michael Jordan's fans. Derek White is some ass. You just learned that? I'm just saying, you just figured that out? I'm just trying to figure, you just figured that out. Oh, this man just figured out that he was ass cheeks, huh? You just figured out that he was some ass cheeks. That boy got no chill. Oh, sorry. Just figured out the man was bona fide cheeks. But they wanted him on the team for a reason. So I don't know why he gets in the game. I mean, I thought he was just there for moral support. You know what I mean? Just clap for the team and then keep it moving. But yeah, I went to I see my name in the title today, and they brung on someone. I guess as the basketball player was supposed to be wrong, right? I think I was supposed to be wrong. So we're gonna go to what I showed you guys earlier last live. It was this, right? It was this comment. Let me know if you guys can hear. Hold on.
Literally battling against guys like Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? So how much you put to Larry Bird?
Can you guys hear that? You guys can hear that? We can? Okay, so let's hear. So we're gonna go. It's the guy at the bottom. Right here, he says something, and I commented on.
All right.
He raised his hand photo. That was the fun part. Hey, I got something to say.
Yeah, I want to.
All right, last one, Hoop God.
Okay, yeah, I want to add something that Rex informed me, and I didn't know this, but it follows, of course, the fitness Rand's point. I didn't realize in the 1980s that the basketball was like, I think Rex said from 30 to 31 inches, and it's no coincidence in 1984 when they switched to the 29, I think it's like 29.2 or 0.1, the one that they're playing with to this day. That's when Larry Bird's efficiency started to go up. Why? It's a smaller basketball. And his first coach was like, he spoke again.
And I don't know if anybody does anybody see right here? This is NMB Sports. He's shaking his head like this right down here.
Why? It's a smaller basketball. And his first coach was like, he spoke against shooting the three ball versus Casey Jones, who was more open to it. So Larry Bird didn't grow up with the 3-point ball. He literally learned on the fly and became.
So I clowned him, right? I clowned him, basically saying everybody knows the ball is, 29.5, and the ball wasn't changed in the 80s. So I guess they decided they were going to dedicate a day for me, and they brung up. I guess he's an old dude. His name is Rex, and he's supposed to be the guru of old shit. He's supposed to be the guru of shit that's old because he's old. I guess that's how that works, right? So they had a page, look at it, says, No Chill, this is history of the basketball. Like, I don't know the history of the basketball. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Back in 1852, what do I care about what the ball looked like back then? Not my problem. My problem is you said the ball was changed in the 80s, and that helped Larry Bird's shooting percentage. That's what I was commenting on, that one. So they go here, and then first of all, as you can see, let me see. Oh, let me dismiss. You can see I already have, I guess this old man, old, but he didn't know how tall Nate Smith was. I guess he thought in his mind he was probably like 6 foot, and I had to correct him, and I said he's 5'10", fellas. Now, can y'all get to the size changing in the ball? So here's his first comment about it, right?
Oh, sorry. We got Gilbert Arenas in here.
Hey, listen. I was yawning too because he was boring as fuck, but I'll let you do it again for me.
Around that rule created dribbling.
Oh, sorry. We got Gilbert Arenas in here.
Hey, man. Hey, Rex, you should be offended. If you didn't say, Rex, listen, Rex, we're going to do it again. You was talking for about 10, 15 minutes, and this is what he thought about it.
Created dribbling.
Oh, sorry. We got Gilbert Arenas in here. He says that Naismith was 5'10". Can y'all get to the size changing in the 80s? There's a bunch of history of the ball changes, Gil, and we're going to go through them. There's only a couple more before the NBA times.
Yeah, the size changing was in the 70s, by the way.
Ouch. The size change was in the 70s. So he says 70s. So that means the black dude earlier who said the 80s, he's wrong. right? So it wasn't changed in the 80s for Larry Bird. So that whole theory was gone. Now let's let the old man talk some more.
Yeah, let's get to that. All right, let's get to the next one, which is...
Yeah, he started talking about a whole bunch of balls and it didn't matter, but we're going to go to this because he even threw a shot at me, y'all. This is crazy. Look at this. Look at this man.
Okay, you go by feel. I'm sure Gilbert can explain this part much better than I can, but you go by the feel of the ball and what you want the ball to feel like. Before this ball, the inspection of the ball by the refs also included you had to examine the laces in the seam, the laces and the panels to make sure that it was okay. You don't have any loose stitching there or anything. You had to worry about that stuff too. That is now gone from the history of basketball with this ball. Glued seams, no more stitching. It's uniform. 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, same ball. You only have to consider the feel.
So something you mentioned earlier, and maybe I misread it.
You misread it.
But you were saying that the size of the ball changed in the 70s as well, or is it? I thought it was the 80s.
Yeah. No, well, this is where it gets convoluted, and this is why so many people have an issue with understanding the size of it. And I just came back from Jacksonville, back down here to Wilmington just now before the show, and I was pondering it, and I was thinking, guys.
I'm sorry. If you knew what he was talking about and actually understood, the ball never changed. The material changed, not the size of the ball. You wouldn't have been pondering to know if you was right or wrong in the first place. But I'll let you finish.
Like Gilbert, who, if we're to be honest, they're in the top 1% of 1% of 1% of basketball players that have ever lived.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you want to be honest about it. There have been like 5,000.
I like to think about 90.
Well, there's been like 5,000 NBA players. Gilbert's in the top half. I don't think anyone would argue he was at the very least number 2,500 of the 5,000 at the very least.
Wait a minute. What? Who the fuck you think you are with this nonsense? 5,000. There's 5,000 players that ever played. And you are gonna put me. Do you know? I had to listen. I thought he said 250. This
elite players. Gilbert's in the top half. I don't think anyone would argue he was at the very least number 2,500 of the 5,000 at the very least. So you're talking since the NBA came into existence 75 years ago, of all the players on the planet that we can readily gauge their skill. I'm not talking about somebody that grew up in the backwoods somewhere or some other country that was just unbelievable, but no one ever saw him play. The ones that we actually know how good you are, he's in the top 1% of 1% of 1%.
Hey, look, when I heard it, I got offended. Like, wait, whoa. Because I was sleeping, dozing off, like, oh, this motherfucker. And then I heard my name, and then he was like, yeah, about 2,500. Like, wait, do you know how sorry 2,500 is? Do you know how sorry 800 is? Do you know what 800 is? Bust, someone who is considered a bust, he's in the 7th. He's about 700. 5,000, that means if you know everybody who just get in the game, that's part of the 5,000. That's part of the 5,000. I know you're old, right? And you love history, so I can give you a history lesson. Since record has been kept, do you know what an all-NBA player is? I'm sure he does. There's only been 294 all-NBA players, right? I mean, if you think about it, you'll understand that because mostly the same players are making it every year. There's only been 294 all NBA players. So I'm an all NBA player. So I would at least be 300, right? Now, I've made it multiple times. There's only 131 players to ever be 3 or more. So there's only been 131 players that's made the all NBA team 3 times or more. I'm one of those players. Here's a little history lesson for you. By the age of 25, there's only been 25 players in history to ever be 3-time All-NBA. By the age of 25. And most of those guys are kind of new. So since I retired, we have Luka, We have Giannis, Kevin Durant, Tatum, Blake Griffin, Westbrook. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. While I played, I'm in the middle of all of it. It's LeBron, Luka, Dwight Howard, Kobe, right? I got Tim Duncan, T-Mac, Shaquille O'Neal. Oh, I didn't play against Anthony Davis. Carmelo Anthony, D. Wade, Amari Stoudemire, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett. Now here's something else for you. Now Jokic wouldn't be in there, sir. He's a little older than 25. From this list of 25, I rank 10th. By the age of 25, they have me at 10th with the highest scoring average. Because by 25, I was averaging 22.5. And I started off as a second round pick, not playing. Everybody that's in front of me is, of course, LeBron, Luka, Kevin Durant, Shaquille O'Neal, number 1 pick, Oscar Robertson, number 1 pick, Bob Pettit, pretty sure he was probably number 1, 2, or 3 pick, Anthony Davis, number 1 pick, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade. Those are the people that's in front of me. Nope. By the age of 25, Kobe was averaging 21.5. And he had 5 by then. But I'm in very, very small company. Unfortunately, I got hurt. I have the highest, I'm number 2 now. I'm number 2 with, I guess I'm averaging 20.7 as a second rounder. So I'm 2 behind Jokic, who's number 1. So basically the highest scoring second round player ever is Jokic at 20.9 or 20.9. I'm at 20.7. I mean, I wasn't that bad. I wasn't 2,500. I wasn't there, anywhere from, if we're going off of straight just talent, if we're going off of straight talent, I gotta be in the top 75 because there's players in the top 75 that got that work. But I can do 250. I can settle for 250. I can settle for 250, dog. 2,500 though, like damn, hurt my feelings. Oh fucker. But yeah. Or then he asked a question about the.
For him, there's probably no difference between a 30-inch ball and a 29.5-inch ball.
Oh, we can feel the difference.
Yeah. He's got big hands, extreme athleticism, ultra extreme.
He asked a question too. Hold on.
The size 5, size 6, size. So the actual NBA ball is 29.5.
Yeah. Was it buffering? What is this?
Process that people know, they're now they started making them orange to the same process that they colorize leather boots and leather belts. They're not painted. The 8 Wilson did is they've got this.
Except it has Wilson on it instead.
Yeah, the bladders are different. That holds air. The normal advances that you would see.
That the ball since 1949 was 29.5 inches for the entirety of NBA history.
Yeah.
That's just plainly not true.
No, but I can understand where someone...
It has been. The only thing that's changed is the material of the ball, which kind of makes it feel heavier or feel bigger or smaller. It's just the material. That's all.
Would think, because that tiny difference, like I said, to a man with hands like that and that kind of skill.
Like I've asked players who played in the 70s and 80s. So,
and I think the little things that happen at 30 makes a big difference. George Mason had a chance at.
Wait, hold on. He asked
was different, and the leather was
a decent mid-range shot.
Inches. So you did obviously have balls that were 30 inches, or that would not have been the rule. I have measured different balls. I said when I was a kid, I had a ball with stitches in it that an elderly neighbor I could palm off.
Well, yeah, he asked about the ball that came in 2006. And I'm going to go on record and say that ball was amazing. The ball in 2006 was amazing. It was great. It felt great. It helped shooting. It did help shooting. And because if anybody knows leather, when leather hit the rim, it kind of like goes off, right? It's hard hits. Well, with that ball they had brung in 2006, when it hit the rim, it kind of stuck around the rim a little bit. So it helped guys, it helped shooters shoot better. Now, this is the truth behind the ball itself. You had players like Steve Nash and Kobe saying that it was cutting their hands. Right? The leather ball cuts your hands. If you shoot anything or pass it enough, it'll start splitting your fingers, right? So they just didn't want to use the ball. Here's why. When the ball was announced that it helped shooting, some of the older players, Kobe, for instance, was against it then, because he said he did not want a fair advantage over the past. If Michael Jordan didn't use it, and that was the thing, if Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic didn't use the ball, they don't want to use the ball. So they were trying everything in their power to veto the ball. And that was the thing. I don't want to break records, and I have asterisks around my legacy because of this fucking ball. And that was the reason that they vetoed the ball. It didn't have nothing to do with, it's cutting my hands up and all. That was the leather ball. You pass enough or shoot enough, it's gonna eventually start ripping through it. But that was the reason. They said they didn't want to break any records in that ball. So they got rid of it. What's funny is I still have not every team, but I got about 7 or 9, because when I heard that they were getting rid of them, I started collecting them. Every city we went to, I just grabbed their ball and took that joint. But yeah, I understood it. I didn't care either way. You know what I mean? Right? You know, it would have helped my assist. It would have helped my assist. I can tell you that. Throwing that ball over here, throwing it, boom, you got a better chance of making it.